stop by today's Costa Maya. Well, it's pretty early, but we're up. The ship time never changes, but the local time does, and our phones sync up with the local time. So then we have to calculate what time ship time is, decide whether or not we can go up and eat. Anyway, it's today is Costa Maya. Man, we're rocking back and forth. And from what I hear, it's just kind of a shopping place. There's no place to walk to outside of the touristy section. Unless you take an excursion. And the reason we didn't do excursions is most of the excursions that looked interesting were, like a couple hour drive. So anyway, we're going to go into port, do some shopping, do a bunch of videos in there, and then come back here, have lunch. We have the water show for entertainment tonight. And, we'll do some other videos while we're around, but let's get walking. This is an overview of the port that's available when you first walk in. After we walked down the long pier and went through the required shop, we got lucky and actually got to see the Dance of the Flyers, the thing where they hang from the pole. After that, these are some of the major things that I wanted to point out, and the one that says bar is the restaurant and bar that you'll see later in this video that we went to. There are restaurants and bars throughout the entire port area, along with a gazillion shops. Everywhere you look, there were shops. The sad thing is, though, most of the shops were jewelry and makeup shops. This here is the pool. And the pool has a bar and a restaurant that's attached to it, and you can have one of the lounge chairs as long as you are consuming their beer or alcohol and food. About halfway down is the Flamingos, and that is also where the entrance to the bird aviary is. The bathrooms here were very nice, and the first thing we did is stop and get some gelato because we had heard on some other videos that the gelato was fantastic, and it was. And it was reasonably priced too. This is the Dolphin Encounter. They have a huge area for the Dolphin Encounter, and it appears that they have different levels of different things you can do. And this is the restaurant slash bar that we hung out in for a while. Great view, but the seaweed smell was a little bad, and because of the seaweed, there were quite a few flies flying around. After that, we found the bird aviary, which is kind of a challenge to find the entrance to. The entire experience is elevated. So it's on basically the second story, and it's all connected with these bridges. And we saw the bridges all over the place, but we couldn't figure out where the start was, and that's one of the reasons I put it on the map. It was was quite nice. There is obviously a fee for it. I think it was, when we went, $17 US a person. The birds, there were tons of birds, but the best part about it was having this elevated view to look down over everything else that was in the port. And especially because it took you way out over the Dolphin Encounter and out by the water, and you had a great view of the ship. And here's another view of the pool with several of the other bars and restaurants. If it wasn't for the seaweed, this area would have been absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it still was gorgeous. It's just the smell kind of detracted from it. And now it was time to head on back. We were shopped out, we were beered out, and we were high pressured out. Well, we just got back from Costa Maya and the amazing shopping.
No, it was not. It was boring as hell.
Okay, there were a couple cool things we did. We went to the bird sanctuary, which you'll see in the video, and I got this super cool magnet bracelet that's gonna make my wrist not hurt anymore. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. And when we got back on the ship, we found these. So on Royal Caribbean, they hide these little ducks. I don't think the cruise ship does it. I think the people that are on this do it, but it's a thing. And they hide these ducks, and I knew about it. And people come on the ship and they spend like half the day searching for these things. I'm just walking along and all of a sudden I found one. So you can either keep it or you can re-hide it, which I'm gonna re-hide it for some kid. And then, so I was all proud of myself, and then Kat, she found one like 5 seconds later. So we both found them, which is really cool. So anyway, it's the afternoon. The ship is going to leave port in about 20 minutes. We're going to quickly run up and get some buffet for a half an hour, and then head down to the water Cirque du Soleil style show, which we'll put some videos up from that. But all in all, yeah, the port was a bunch of people trying to hard sell you stuff. And the crazy thing is a lot of the stuff you can buy there, it's actually cheaper on the ship. Not only that, even the beer and the alcohol, like the drinks that you can buy to consume, are more expensive there than they were on the ship. The last port in Roatan, it was cheaper on shore, but this last one, it was more expensive on shore than it was. I spent more for a beer on shore than I do on a cruise ship. How crazy is that? Even with the tip on the cruise ship. But anyway, we're off to dinner, and see you tonight. Okay, so I lied. We didn't go to dinner immediately. We went to Boleros, which is down in the Royal Promenade, to get a drink before we went to the buffet. After we got done eating, we headed down to Deck 6, which is the boardwalk, to see the show in the AquaTheater. It was very similar to a Cirque du Soleil show that you would see in Las Vegas. The performers were very high quality, very skilled. There was actually 2 guys that did this strength demonstration, and it was easily better than what we saw in Las Vegas. Kat and I lived in Vegas for over 10 years and went to every single Cirque du Soleil show, and I don't think I ever saw someone balance on a person's hand with just his head. By the way, if you do go see one of these shows, unless you want to get wet, do not sit in one of the first few rows, because if you do, you will get splashed and you will get wet. was a great day. I know I complained, or I should say we complained a little bit about the port. I think if we ever went back, we'd have a much better time because we would know exactly what to expect with this port. But the rest of the day on the ship and the show at night was outstanding. That brings to an end day 5. Day 6 is Cozumel, Mexico.